Album No. 4. Niall Horan shares his already inspiring Spotify playlist. Niall Horan is on the playlists of millions of fans on Spotify. Who, though, is Niall Horan on his? I usually listen to my Spotify Wrapped. There's a lot of Bon Iver in there. There's a lot of T Swift, just minutes before he's set to take the stage for an intimate Spotify show in New York City. Do you know what I do have? I have a playlist called Fourth that is already considering the influences I want to use for my next record. It's more like sounds, objects, and guitars than it is declarative, like I'm going to write this song. I have Phoebe Bridgers' Kyoto, Dijon, and The Dress. Many artists may be getting ahead of themselves if they begin to consider Album No. 4 before Album No. 3 is even out. However, Horan, 29, can't help himself because the release of the show, his third album, has been anticipated for so long. The singer-songwriter claims he has been dying to perform live again, especially since the release of his second album, Heartbreak Weather, coincided with the pandemic and forced him to postpone a tour. He was able to accomplish just that on Tuesday night at Powerhouse, where he played a small show for a select group of his most devoted Spotify listeners. Fans also had the opportunity to submit questions for the star to answer. They'll hear the album in its most unadulterated form tonight, devoid of all the bells and whistles and production, which makes it incredibly intimate, he says. So I actually think this is the perfect way to hear a record for the first time, really, in its original form, in the way I wrote the songs. In addition to the already released singles Heaven and Meltdown, the new songs that made up Tuesday's set list included the ballads The Show and Science, the acoustic ditty You Could Start a Cult, which Horan claimed was the last song he wrote for the album, and the funky On a Night Like Tonight. The performer also included hits like Slow Hands in This Town, along with a flawless rendition of Zach Bryan's Something in the Orange, all while informing the audience that he had a sinus infection.